Alright, everybody, welcome back to the Mage's Masterful Guide to Monster Males. I'm here to, well, rate some monster nutrition. We're in the home stretch now, so I'm not gonna bother labeling this with letters. Because I just want to get the full thing to do. Let's see, what's the current monster? Ah, okay, simple enough. We're going over the Pegasus! Let me just grab an image for you. Pegasus 5th edition. Most people know what a Pegasus is. Drag that in there. Horse. Yo, wait. I was won that time because I couldn't eat a horse. Here's the chance. And now I got fine nutritional value of a horse. No value of a horse. Of a horse, not of a horse's. Wait for it to load. No, I don't want what they eat. Horse. Yeah, what if I specify of horse meat? Yeah, there we go. Huh. No carbohydrates, but oh boy, look at that iron and protein. Okay, I should probably start with the fact that, wait, they're Celestials. Damn it. I was so excited, but... Hold on. Oh no. Oh no. This sucks. This really sucks. I had the chance to eat it, but it's a Celestial. Hmm. No. You can't eat. No, this is... No way. Hold on, you know what? D20 SRD. It's selling it for 3.5. That's fine. Training up Pegasus. Has a wingspan 20 feet. Nothing out when they die. Damn it. Okay, I try over in this source. Nothing about when they die. Check here. No, that's just the stat block. There we go. Ah. That's just the stat block again. You know what? And you know... Let's see, Pegasus. What I'm seeing... That's bad. Alright. Well, that's a shame. I can't eat them. Both of the horses I've eaten so far don't leave bodies because it's fiends and celestials, respectively. Not applicable. Ah. That's silly. Ah. Two chances to eat a horse. And both of them are interplanar. Fuck. Okay. After Pegasus, Periton! Grab an image. How do I spell that? Periton. Image. That's somebody's artwork. That's official artwork, I can use that. It's so tiny! I'm not seeing... I might just download the image. Unless I can take it from a website dedicated to archiving 5th edition. And I just need to check if these are celestials or fiends. It's a monstrosity. We're in the clear. We can eat it. Oh. See, I have to check that every time now. Because you never know. I'm not... Okay, so we won't have to deal with any fiends until the Rakshasa. Let's see, Periton. Now this Masterful's carnivore feeds on any creature, prefers humanoids, especially elves, half-elves, and humans. When Periton receives praise, heart, and takes battles nest to be devoured. Wait, what size is this compared to a person? It says it's medium, but... Wait... Hold on. So it has a humanoid shadow. Periton size person. Uh, 40... Okay, so because it's medium, it's about human-sized. Unless you ask 5e tools, apparently. But I don't think that's accurate. Hmm. Forgotten Realms Wiki, that's been a trustworthy source. Habitats, Rumors and Legends, Trivia. Description. 7 feet long and 5 feet tall. That makes sense. There we go. So we know it's about person-sized. Alright. So official art has shown it bigger, but... they are humanoid. Interesting. Huh. Was 100 on... Yeah. So last region... Okay, that's... Alright, I get that. Okay, so, getting right into it. Good news, it is neither poisonous nor venomous, so we can eat a periton. Bones, let's see, well, with the antlers, as well as being... the skeleton shouldn't be too bad, actually. Because it just has a rabbit skull on a bird body. Uh, yeah, so should I put just standard bones? Portions, I'd say the Puritan, due to being poultry, and... right, because a chicken could feed a family. 5 portions. Alright, let's see. What would be good to go for next? Calcium. 2 out of 5. Actually, no. 3. Lower iron. Low fat. Protein, that's gonna be high. It's poultry. No carbohydrates. I'm starting to realize just how much we rely on bread. Like, damn. Oh, no, Oh, the average adventurer lives on hardtack, doesn't it? Oh, damn it. Wait. By the... Oh, no. Gods, I knew that it was bad, but I didn't know they had it that bad. You know, most of the time party just eats what they kill, but damn. They eat what they kill, or they eat at a settlement. Rations don't get used often. I'm gonna give it decent vitamins. High caloric value. Complexity. It's not that hard to cook. It's chicken. Actually, never mind. It is that hard to cook because it's chicken. I have never cooked chicken all the way through without just cooking it like hamburger. Grilling and everything, I can't do that with chicken. So the chicken's my baseline. And because it eats people, that's not gonna be good for its flavor. Huh. It's abominable to alone. But makes a good meal when cooked with spices. So after the periton... The piercer! Oh yeah, these things are pathetic. Remove. Piercer. Man, I love these pathetic little worms. And now I realize that it's giving me a 124 piercer. And that's asking for a feat. We're not here for a feat. Yeah, you have to specify feat or monster in the search. That's sad. Ooh, it's gone. It's too small. Now if I try... There we go. Look at that pathetic worm. 2 goes where? What have I got? But actually, also have to work with it. Come on. I know they're the lower form of ropers. Huh. That's pretty cool. So now, Come on. Okay, it's all piercing. There is no poison or venom. And that's... bones? They're closer to slugs than anything, right? Oh, they have shells made of rock. Okay, that's good to know. Heat, gathering colonies. Okay. Half number, falling down. Okay then. So for bones, I kind of want to say that they don't have many. I'm going to cheat a bit and go towards Roper. Yeah. As far as I can tell. Ah, ecology. I'm not here for different creature. I don't think they have bones. Right. Or to look through the additions. Nah, they're just like slugs. That's chill. I vibe with that. They have shells though, so I'm gonna give them 2 out of 5 instead of 3 out of 5, because it's hard as rock shells. Portions for a piercer, they're... thing about ropers are rather large. These are the larvae of them. They disguise as stalactites, I think, or stalagmites. No, it's the... it's the ceiling, so it's a stalactite. 4 portions. I'm giving it high calcium and pretty good iron. But it's gonna be low on fat and protein. Once again, lack carbs. That's understandable. Decent vitamins. Pitiful energy. They're relatively easy to cook once you crack them open. It's like shellfish. Yeah, you could boil them like a crab. Metabolism. I mean, they do eat people. Yeah, they very much eat people. And it does have a big impact on them because of how small they are. They stink like the devil when they fall, but they're pretty harmless if they don't land on you. No feast. Oh, that's... And this is publicly available, so you don't need to have that fully visible all the time. Y'all can look at it. So, after Pixie... Or no, after Piercer comes Pixie. Which, the Fate leave corpses, right? They do? Aww. Pixies don't like fighting. Pixie dust. Huh. Okay. I'm sorry, pixies don't have an attack. That's kind of sad. Now I gotta check if pixies leave corpses. uh... Just checking. No, that's playing as a pixie. That'd be really fine to play as a pixie. Intentionally being relatively harmless, so I'd be stuck in the support role. Yes. Okay, but I need to know what happens when they die. No, that's through the race. What happens when they die? Ah. Uh. I'm not... Huh. What I'm seeing is that I think they just leave pixie dust. Sorry for anything, you just woke up. It's fine. English hardly English as ever. I'm trying to figure out if pixies leave a corpse or if they burst into dust. I don't care about Arakaka right now. I already did those. Huh. Control F. That's for the race. That's for the race. Okay. Death is... No. Die. Don't die of old age. Cool, but what happens if I crush them? Today you got cat spirit from my frame. Now he knows where the wisp is. No, see, you're a wisp. Oven's the cat spirit. I looks similar, but... Yeah, I think these just burst into dust. Okay, now I want to spread the not applicable. There you go. Huh. Leave corpses. But instead, burst into pixie dust. If you... Oh, hey, first spot of the stream! Deviants Madam X! Haha. They've been banished. You really need pixie dust? Just ask politely. Pixie. So after Pixie comes a pseudo dragon. Huh. Aw, you're kidding me. You're telling me I could have had a pseudo dragon as a familiar instead of a... I wouldn't replace that event. Oh my god, I never put an image up for Pixies. Oh. This is a Pixie. It's adorable. It also is incapable of violence. That is canon, actually. Come on. Yeah, they're... Oh my god, they're so adorable. They have between 0 and 3 hit points. They are not a threat. They don't have an attack. They just turn invisible. Oh, there is one thing they can do. They can turn you into a sheep once a day. This is great. I love pixies. I should start using pixies in my campaigns. You know, fairies are overdone. Miscellaneous fae are cool, I guess, but... Pseudo Dragon 5th edition. From that. Of course the best image comes... Well, the best version of the official image comes from the 5e wiki homebrew race for them. I've gotta spend a stream just looking at these someday. Okay, well... Checking stuff on the pseudo dragon. They have venom. Okay. Mages often seek out sea dragons who agree with this position. Your resistance to magic makes them superior familiars. Yeah. Companion. Person knows treat fairly. A sea dragon picks up with no ill treatment and abandons a manipulative or abusive companion without warning. Valid! Pseudo dragons can't speak, but they communicate with unknown forms of telepathy. Right. Okay then. They're not poisonous. That's good. That's the... I'll do complexity after, actually. Bones, I'm going to go with a solid 4 out of 5. He's got to do with the scales, the horns. These ones have stingers. They are different from other dragons. I'm so good at that. Portions. It's tiny. A pseudo dragon will feed one person. 3 out of 5. Iron. 2 out of 5. Low fat. Destroy them protein. These are tiny creatures, though. This is like squirrel size. Actually, it's more like cat sized. There's a mouse visible on their thing. No carbs. Decent vitamins. But I'm putting in low energy. It's like a snack, not a thing. Decently complex to cook. Might increase that because of the venom, actually. The metabolism kinda matters, but not as much as it could. I probably shouldn't be putting notes at the end of all of them, because that just makes this take a while. Okay, so how many of these do you think I could get through before running out of time? I kind of doubt I'd get through the whole thing. Actually, a lot of these seem to be relatively easy to go through. Never mind. I should be able to handle it. Purple worm. Okay, now I need to know, has somebody made a purple worm race? Purple worm. I think purple worm is an interesting case here. Because, fun fact, their venom, or poison, is actually what they're most well known for. Paste. Move that down. Okay, purple worm. Purple worm. Okay. Purple first to the ground. Consumes earth and rocks. Yeah, do. Of course. Consciousness needs to the Underdark. Yeah. This to avoid these monsters is where big could become this complex sun system resolving several worms hunting together. Huh. Okay, but I know purple worm venom is a item because it's brought up so often. Yeah. It's 12d6 poison damage. It costs 2,000 gold pieces. If you do not... It's not good to put it... If you don't plan around this, you will die if you eat a purple worm. I am maximizing both poison and venom. And now I'm not sure if I should rank the rest of this. Because you will die if you eat this. Where is purple worm poison stored? Actually, where is it stored? Hold on. What I'm seeing is that it's just in the stinger that the poison is in. And the rest, you only have to be concerned with the shells, the teeth, the stomach acid, and the... I forgot what it's called. Let's go. I'm just gonna put, if you eat this, you'll die. Maybe. You could... I might think, I can't think of a part of this that would be edible. I don't know how this thing works as a creature. Like, in an ecosystem. Jeez. Holy hells. What is this thing's anatomy? Actually, I'm not gonna look this up in this side thing. Anatomy. It's just a series of stomachs. No, that... Jesus Christ, how do we... Oh my god, yeah, if it's just a big worm, it's all stomach. Holy cow. This is horrible. This thing is nothing but stomach. And isn't stomach a stinger? What isn't stomach is stinger. You are not harvesting a purple worm to eat. You are harvesting a purple worm to kill something else. Next up is the Quaggoth. Good news! It's humanoid, so you can eat it. Quaggoth. Remove. Quaggoth. These things are ugly. I can't put this gently. They also don't deserve for me to put it gently. Not videos, images. Hey, there's a 5e race for this apparently. Wow. This is funny to me. Holy hells. Okay, so if I grab the Quaggoth, ta-da! Hee hee. Quaggoth. Venom. Okay, I think that these aren't poisonous. I'm not seeing any poison in here. They're immune to poison and venom. Okay, so yeah, no. Humanoid amounts of bones, you know. They're medium. Yeah, so they could feed 4 people. 4 to 5, but I'm gonna go low on this one. 3 out of 5. 2 out of 5. 2 out of 5. Decent protein. Low carbs. Vitamins. 4 out of 5. Energy. Decent. You know? You're seeing me fill out the spreadsheet. 3 out of 5. I'm maximizing it. I am maximizing metabolism. You're gonna look around for a while now? Okay. Let's see. I understand that. So, notes on this? That have fun, you're listening? Alright. While they're immune to the effects of venom, that doesn't mean that there isn't any in them. In fact, yeah, no, be careful not to eat a stung quaggoth. And next up is the Rakshasa. Well, this is easy. I already know they're fiend. Or they're fiends. They don't need a body. Stupid tiger fiends. I'm not even giving you a picture of the Rakshasa. I hate them. What's after Rakshasa? Rammerhaze! This is... Okay, I'll just put this up here. Rammerhazes. Yippee! Everyone knows Rammerhazes, I think. I don't know. And I just realized that I put the plural when I don't really do that for anything else. There we go. They're like centipede things. I don't like them. But I will give them the same honor that any other creature gets. That being eating them. Live in Arctic climates, bring an elk, blurb is another creature. That makes sense. Can't sorry, warm weather. Hey, wait, that just made me realize. The reason it says they can't handle warm weather is because they have a furnace-like heat within their bodies. Furnace-like. You know what else has a furnace-like heat within their body? Karlach. So what if you avoided sending Karlach back to Avernus by instead sending her to Antarctica? This is silly, isn't it? Huh. Why? I'm just gonna look up why don't we just... Yeah. Huh. Huh. So, I'm not finding many sources on this creature, which is odd. Does the Forgotten Ones wiki have anything? It seems like it's just a big bug. This everything else I have something to base it off of, whether it be a slug or a chicken. Or a cow. Huh. Dear God, this thing hasn't changed at all since first edition. These guys are pretty cool. Resistance. So I think it's just a generally big bug. Okay, this should be simple enough. Poison. No poison. Also, no venom. It actually counts burning you alive to be venom, which I don't. 4 out of 5 on bones. That exoskeleton's a big deal. Oh my god, wait a second. They literally cook themselves. If you get them out of the code, they cook themselves. This is... Ooh. They're either large or huge based off of their age. So... It's between 12 and 20. So, like, that's... Ooh! Decent calcium. Decent iron. Low fat. High on protein. I'm going off the assumption that they're effectively large insects. Even though they're coastal centipedes. Not on the carbohydrates. Pretty high on vitamins. You're gonna get value out of this thing if you eat it. Two out of 5. Metabolism moderate, you know. Okay. It literally cooks itself if it's in a warm environment. If I'm not meant to eat this... Why is it made of food? If I'm not meant to eat the remoras, why is it literally food? And Revenant fun. So, a Revenant is an undead! Oh boy! Fun fact, they're actually playable with Von Richten's Guide to Ravenloft. Revenant 5e. Not race. I don't want... I don't want the sub race. I'll play it eventually. But not right now. Screw it. We'll use a tiny image. It's just zombies. No, I don't want to open the Minecraft launcher. Why lose that right there? 1 out of 5. I'm just gonna put 1 out of 5 across the board. Control C. Control V. There we go. Portions, you're gonna feed 4 people a horrible meal. It's humanoid bones. They're, they're technically not poisonous or venomous, but maximum complexity. Their metabolism doesn't matter. Okay, so I'm not a professional, but eating rotting corpses seems like a bad idea. Now, I was going to say eating corpses seems like a bad idea, but what do you think food comes from? It's all corpses, albeit animal corpses. Alright then. So now we get to the rock! This time it's actually okay to eat rocks. Okay, it's okay to eat rocks. Joke isn't. Rock 5th edition. Okay, I'm getting fan depictions, but if I use those, then I'm stealing art. I'm not a thief. That's official, I can use that. It's not thievery if it's from Wizard of the Coast and I use it transformatively. So, these are gargantuan! Do I even have a thing for gargantuan? Hold on, gargantuan is... Gargantuan... Oh yeah. I have done some gargantuan creatures. It's very interesting. Okay then. So, I'm going to say this is gonna feed 50 people. Sky Titans, yeah. Rocks treat even giants as potential prey. Oh. What's your features? Okay, they're solitary creatures, so you only have to deal with one at a time. Huh. So if you end up running into a mating pair of rocks, you're really unlucky. Because they kind of just never meet with each other. Bizarre. So, no poison or venom. 0 5, 0 5. I'm gonna go with... It's effectively a bird. It is just bird but big. It is just massive chicken. Calcium? Honestly, I'm going to give favoritism towards the massive creatures by virtue of the size of them. 5. 3 out of 5 vitamins. 5 out of 5. Okay, what's next? Ah, the complexity and metabolism. Well, for complexity, it's just big chicken. And metabolism, it's just big chicken. You kind of have to moderate those two. Yeah. Two out of 5. Big chickens. Even a single one is a feast. A town. There's a feast for a town. A banquet's the term I'm thinking of. There you go, not feast for a town. A banquet. Duh. Roper. Ah, ropers. I don't actually like them. Grab the roper. Ta-da! Would you look at that thing? It's disgusting! In all fairness, most of these are disgusting on purpose. And just check how much more we have left. Okay, we might be able to finish this today. Let's see here. Rocky shell, goddamn it. They're not venomous or poisonous. That's interesting. That's odd. I honestly thought that... Oh. I don't know why I thought that they grappled people and used their enzymes. Is that something else? Hold on. Hello, Can Raccoon King of Entropy. That's a bit of a mouthful. Huh. Yeah, I don't know where I got the impression of ropers. Actually, this is a pretty cool monster when I care enough to be accurate. Okay, so, good news. Good God news. Of course I read your name, and I'm trying to come up with a shortening of it. You can ignore everything after the word raccoon. Understandable. I was just gonna start calling you Raccoon in the same vein as Wisp and... No, Nidroid's just a full username. Good news that I know ropers are neither poisonous nor venomous. Huzzah! Okay, it would have the same bone score as the Piercer because it doesn't have internal bones. It just has teeth in its shell. Since it's closer to a mollusk than I don't know what the proper term for that. Think like a snail. You're confused? Mind telling you what this is about? Well, I made it a goal that I would review the uh, quote-unquote edibility or nutrition of every monster in Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition. This was a mistake, because I've been doing this for a while, and it's kind of taking a bit of a toll. But I'm going to at least get through the monster manual. Then maybe take a bit of a break. I am on my 189th entry here. A lot of them were kind of shoo-ins because a lot of fiends don't leave corpses, and neither do most celestials. It's fitting here since you're eating a burger right now? Oh, that's neat. I probably don't have the best format for this because it's not like I have a camera on the monster manual. Let's see. It's large, and going how I've done large pictures before, it would be feeding 10 people. Pleasant. Okay, now I've got to get through the calcium and everything. For some reason I think that this would have low calcium, but would have high iron. I'd say it's decent in fat. You know, it has sort of the jelly-like consistency. Is it odd I think that the inside of a roper, like inside the shell, would have about the same sort of consistency as... I'm trying to come up with a better comparison, but the only two things I can think of are slugs and the human brain. Okay. Decent protein. That's fun. No carbohydrates in here. Moderate vitamins. You're gonna get your nutrition from this. It's gonna be gooey, it's gonna be slimy, its texture's gonna be irritating on your tongue. But overall, you can subsist on Roper. I'm going to steal the complexity score from the Piercer. Because thing is that Piercer is just an immature roper. Their larva. And I'm really realizing that the Monster Manual sorting system, while convenient for me by being alphabetical, is dumb and stupid. Their metabolism does matter. What they eat is going to affect them so very much. Because they are mostly stomach. Gooey, slimy. But will keep you alive. And operating. That's the big thing. It'll keep you alive and operating. The roper, honestly, I think my reviews turned around on it. Because for a while I hated it due to a misconception on my end. And now we get to Rust Monsters! Wait, seriously that's their name, Rust Monster? I thought that was just a nickname. Welcome back, Raccoon. Seriously, they... Yeah, these things are just called Rust Monsters. That's... Huh. Man, everything else is at least a derivative name, but... Sorry about that. Family's a hassle. Understandable. Let me get an image for the Rust Monster. Wait, no, I shouldn't have that covering up me. Rust Monster. Man, I wouldn't worry about being a hassle. It's completely understandable. So, I don't think they're poisonous, no. Yeah, you don't really have much to worry about with a Rust Monster, unless you're a Warforged. That's called a Rust Monster? I know, right? I mean, what they do, it makes sense that they're called that. They corrode iron and eat the remaining rust. That makes sense. It fits. It's understandable. But man, how bad do you gotta be at naming things? Then again, I just steal words from other languages to name my creatures, so it doesn't really matter. Rust Eater would have been better? Yeah! Rust Eater would have been infinitely better, actually. I don't think monster should be in anything's proper name. I think these are another thing that only has an exoskeleton. They're like crabs. Yeah, they're insect-like. Actually, no, I'm going to give that lower bones. That's gonna have the same amount, no, because it has the tail and the horns, so it would be more than the roper. It would still be less of a hassle to deal with than, less of a hassle than the humanoid. Oh my god, I forgot the notice in the corner. I do not endorse cannibalism. This is very important. It's medium, so it could feed 4 to 5 people. I'm gonna go in the upper levels of this because they have a lot. Uh, I'm gonna go with decent calcium in these things. And I'm especially gonna go for high iron. Because you do not live off of eating rusted metal without having a lot of metal in you. Oh, for humanoids, that's a reasonable disclaimer? It is! Yeah! Between Dwergar and Quaggoths and just straight up elves. Man, I already know that. Oh my god, I forgot the orcs too. Technically mind flayers? You wisps, so are you a cannibal or not? Technically it's in your nature. I need to put you into a petri dish. That is not normal wisp behavior. I'm sorry if that's... Yeah. Because normally wisps tend to get along with each other rather well. They don't really eat anything other than the sort of travelers. Valid question, Raccoon. A wisp is the soul of somebody wicked who died somewhere just full of magic. They take the form of flame spirits, although they don't actually give off heat. There's subspecies though. In reality, it's a classification that encompasses a lot of different species. But as far as I'm aware, none of them include eating each other. That... It's odd. They also tend to feed on ambient magic more than anything. You eat the bad ones? Wisps would get a big ol' 0 in eating rankings? Exactly! Technically, they'd fall under the same vein as pixies, where it's not applicable, due to being just spirit. Pixies were non-applicable because it just leaves pixie dust. And despite being a sparkly dust with funny effects, it's not actually a good seasoning. You ever polymorph somebody into a sheep? You ever polymorph your meal into a living sheep? It doesn't go well. I'm gonna fill the rest of this in, because it's relatively simple. Rust monsters, they'd be decently high in fat. They're largely gelatinous under the shells. They'd also be decently high in protein. See, we're getting at all the creatures that are sort of gooey. You know, you cook it and it sort of melts. As a raccoon, pixie dust is not tasty? Yeah. And besides, if you wanted pixie dust, don't kill a pixie for it, just ask politely. More often than not, they'd be happy to oblige. Like, jeez. I'd say that rust monsters... No, they'd be low on vitamins. They subsist on rust. They're not the most complex to cook. I'd say if you cook a rust monster, you could just put it in a boiling pot. You could cook these like crabs or lobsters. You know, put in a boiling pot, crack open that shell. Mwah. Peak. You just gotta cook it boiling water and make sure it's in there for long enough. And their metabolism. Okay. There's not gonna be a big variety in what they eat with how their metabolism gets skewed. Affects the taste. Because they just eat rust. Can't blame pigs for give you the pig's dust. Your people did try to eat them before. Well, yeah. Pixies are relatively isolated because people try to eat, because animals try to eat them. Why do I consider you evil for eating your own kind? I don't consider you evil. I consider you interesting. I want to put you under a microscope. You are to be studied. Yeah, sure you don't mind? Yeah. A wisp eating other wisps is groundbreaking. Like, big crabs that eat weapons. You want to be studied? I haven't yet found something worth studying in you. But you also haven't been here for long. They're big crabs. They eat all your weapons. Rust monsters. As a monster, I like them. They're interesting. Yeah, sorry about the... I like things to study. The rust monsters are interesting as a monster. Their name could use some work. But they're also just really fun to throw at your players. The reactions when their weapons start eroding away. Mwah. It's incredible. And next up... Hey! It's a humanoid! The Sahwagan. Shapeshifting. That sounds like the work of the Fae. So after Rust Monsters Sahwagan, let's see if I get a good image of this. Images. That is interesting. But it's not trustworthy. Let's see. Oh, wait, is this an aquatic race? Never mind, that's about cannibalism. They're not people. This isn't a classification thing. I'm just... I'm trying to eat the astral plane, but it's complicated. Yeah, okay, Wisp, I'm going to be direct with you. Trying to eat the astral plane is a fruitless endeavor. You're just a spirit adventurer that like the form of raccoons? Man, we are all mythical, aren't we? Eating the astral plane is fruitless, because the astral plane is by definition a vacuum. It is just made of magic. And it's constantly regenerating itself. And I would know about the astral plane because I live here. Uh, Alright, I should probably check the proper. Okay, the good news here is that the Sahagwin they are not poisonous or venomous. You choked on your food from laughter? Thank you. How old again? Let's see. So I can't see us a plane in 1495. Current year's 2025. 1495. 530 years. Tanka was born in Phandalin in 1475. So I'm 550 years old, 530 of which have been spent in the astral plane. Huh. Now that I think about it, I don't think I have any living relatives on the material plane. I liked it better when I didn't have a way of telling time. So eating food from laughter? Well, I'm happy that I can be entertaining. Now, the fish people. Okay, let's see if there's... I'm gonna skim over this, see if there's anything notable here. There was the deep, yeah. Worship sharks. Crazy people. You don't remember how old you are? Fair. Stop counting at first 1,000? Ah! That's understandable. I lost count pretty much instantly. Now you want to continue writing your lore novel thingy? Yeah! I should make a whole lore document for this, because I have it all in my head, I just don't have it written down. Mutation? Huh. Okay, well, I'm seeing nothing here that would affect their edibility. You know how old you were? You were born before the universe was created? Which universe? There's a lot of them. I've seen actually a few of them be born in my time in the astral plane. Being entropy itself, understandable. Which universe's manifestation of entropy? I'm sorry if this is an odd question, but being stuck in a place between worlds. Oh my god, wait, I don't even know if my time might not be accurate because of... Oh no. It was 1495 in my world's time, but I don't know what time this computer's synced up to. Oh gods. I could be ancient. Be right back? Yeah, I've been... I'm going to fill this out here to stop thinking about the fact that I might be unfathomably ancient. Okay, so calcium, I'd say they're decently high in it. They're fish after all. Honestly, fish are high in a lot of things. Iron as well. They'd also be pretty high in protein. Wow. I'm gonna go with them being low in fat, though. Fish tend to be pretty lean. I have the hiccups, damn it. no carbohydrates. I find that the carbohydrates thing is kind of unnecessary. It's very rarely used. Because most of your carbohydrates are going to come from plant life. And so far the only plant-based creature we've had have been dryads and blights. It's very dumb. However, it's also made me realize that, man, being an adventurer sucks. Entropy is the essence of death. Entropy is the slow decay of everything. It's the explosion of energy. I think a good way to think about is it's the way things change. You did merge like 100 of them into yours so that you can meet fantasy. Oh yeah, I remember that crisis. That was a whole thing. Man, that was you? Holy hell. That, like... Jeez! The damn crisis that was caused in that. That... There's still glitch characters running about. Like... The consequences! Ugh. Holy hells. Alright, vitamins. You're gonna get your vitamins out of the fish. Okay. And then you're gonna get your energy from them. They are gonna be decently difficult to cook on account of being humanoid fish. You know, because the complexity cooking also includes it. The old kingdom meant by that time you couldn't just travel to other universes and leave it behind. Yeah, but you also can't collapse worlds into each other like that. It's just... You do realize that that put everything at risk, right? Well, most things. It put the existence of the material plane... of material planes as a concept at risk. Not to mention the fact that it combined elemental planes into them. Like, ah! Why am I talking about consequences of actions? I ended up here because I ended up here from an experiment gone wrong. A cat climbed into my lap and now she's getting mad whenever I stop petting her. No, don't press that. Metabolism. Your existent body hurts? Ah. Maybe you need some rest? I don't know, I can't really give advice with just it hurts. Huh. See, voice of the cold? Pain is just an emotion? Huh. You want a new body? So do I. This is out of character, right? Cupcake, no! Okay, turn off caps lock. Get rid of all that when your face into my keyboard. Can we make a clone of something and give it to us? Ah! I'm not too sure how duplicating and being of entity of entropy. Hold on a second. How did you get through the entire cataclysm of the merging universes? Because that also brought 100 beings of manifestations of entropy into the same plane. That... Suck them onto yourself? I mean, I'm aware of the concept of merging souls. I've seen it done. Don't know if a bike can withstand your fire spirit? Valid. I'm condemned not to have a body anymore. I have this cloak, and that is everything. Okay, after this fish is salamander. No, I'm not talking about the animal salamander. Even if I was, it wouldn't apply. I'm like a Mimikyu? Effectively, yeah. Let's see. Man, all the designs I'm seeing for... Ah, I see. Technically, it's divided between fire snake and salamander, but they're the same species. And they have the same... Oh, wait, never mind. This just doesn't matter. Body can withstand spirit of entropy, it should withstand your spirit. And certain bodies can. You know. They don't all have the same abilities. You don't know how, but you burned fire itself. That one I'm going to call your bluff on. The rest was moderately possible. But burning fire... Nuh-uh. So, bad news. You can't eat a salamander. Because they are entirely made of fire. Here's an unpopular opinion. I hate elementals. Can't stop you from eating one. I mean, valid. You could technically eat it, you just wouldn't get anything out of eating it. You'll eat it in your human form? You know what? Best of luck to you, man. That's all I can really say. But you got the right attitude for it. Now, next up is the satyr. You have news? Oh. Let's hear it. Your tongue burned off. Yeah! That sounds about right. Other news? Oh. You grew it back. You know what? Good job. Well, who wouldn't be able to do that? Just check the... The festivals and holidays when just by non-stop celebration. Ah! Everything about satyrs just says they get drunk and party. What does that mean for their nutrition? God. See, this is why I have the disclaimer. This is just eating a person. I can just steal from any other humanoid. Bloody, what's a good one to steal from? Not a gnome. I think orc would be a good baseline humanoid. Control C. Control V. You mean it plummets? Valid! Uh, yeah. Satyrs really aren't that big of a deal. It's just humanoid fae. Those are a dime a dozen. Ah, but being fae, decreased by a point or two each. I wouldn't go that far, but I would definitely reduce their protein from orcs. Orcs would be higher because of their entire warrior culture thing. They'd probably have more fat on them. I'd say iron and calcium would stay the same. Carbohydrates would stay at 0. The vitamins might reduce a bit. But I'd say energy could stay at 2 out of 5. Yeah, and the rest of this seems pretty reasonable. Metabolism's effect has about as much of an effect. Now, be careful if you're eating a satyr, because it does qualify as eating the food of the fae. The rules of hospitality. You ate your food but forgot your Pepsi? Ah, understandable, yeah. Forgo the drink. It is technically fae food. I should put food of the fae. Alright, and after the scarecrow, or after the satyr comes a scarecrow. Oh my god, wait, is this gonna be another thing that... Let's go, it's a construct! This is actually have some carbs in it, because it's... plant. Straw. Now that I think about it... Isn't this just straw and sticks? Yeah, it's just straw and sticks with a ghost in it. Do we even need a picture for a scarecrow? Yeah, and I just had a bizarre thought. I'm not allowed to have an organic physical body due to the whole abandoned. Due to the whole astral plane withering away thing. But I could possess a scarecrow, can't I? Also, does eating a scarecrow's clothes qualify as eating it? I'd say that eating the sack would qualify, but you wouldn't really get anything out of eating it. Since, you know... It's part of it in the same way as the straw and everything, and it is a construct, so it all exists. Here, scarecrow. Scarecrows are weird in the vein of being monsters. But I did rank an Iron Golem. So I can already get rid of poison and venom out of our concerns. It specifies that it's an evil spirit. That's... No, Cupcake, pause off the X button. That does not... Yeah. No, no, stop. Stop typing. No! Pause just off the keyboard. Ow, 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 that's a claw in my leg. Do I count the blood? I do try and keep the blood into account. The cat is evil? I mean, to an extent, yeah. I try to take blood into account. I also try to take eggs into account. Because a lot of things lay eggs. I think I need to take my dog out. It's 2 hours into the stream. Now would be time to. I'm gonna put up the alert. I will be back soon. Cupcake, I'm gonna have to get you off of me. Eh. No, Coco, don't bite my leg. I need to actually walk if I'm gonna take you out. Ah. Okay, why? That hurt your ears? I'm sorry. She's very vocal when she needs to be taken out. Come on, Coco, I need to navigate around you. Ah. Ah. It's the small dog. Does so much trouble. Douchebag, though. Pretend! The dog is even... I didn't even see you calling Coco evil. I don't think I would define her as evil. But she's absolutely just a little dumb. Alright. Where did we leave off? Right, Scarecrow. So, I'm going to be controversial here and say 0 on Scarecrow. Ah! God, it's been so long since there's a sound alert that I honestly forgot they existed. Holy hell. Now I wish I had more tracking because... Ah... God, that... I actually jumped at that. Holy... It's okay. Whew. This game is why I scared you. You know what? Understandable. That, yeah, eye for an eye. Okay. I'd say get 4 portions out of a Scarecrow. Now, I'm going to put 0 for all of these, except for the carbohydrates. Because it is all straw and pulp and technically cloth, but eh. You wouldn't eat it, but you could. Scarecrows are sort of a side dish monster. More so than a main dish. Yeah, just want to make that distinction. Complexity... I mean, you'd have to do the milling of it, the straw, and all the prep work, and properly baking it, and... You know, it'd be relatively difficult. And their metabolism doesn't matter because they don't eat. It's just straw, but might as well buy bread. I don't think scarecrows are that good as meals. What's after scarecrows? Shadows! No dark exaggerations. Here's mentality. Especially trying to is contained by evil. This is strong in darkness. This shows hunger. Oh. Wait. Okay, so the thing with shadows is that if you kill one, then it just goes back to being a shadow. It doesn't leave, like, a corpse or anything. See, the way it is... Yeah, it is N/A. A good way of describing it is... It's Peter Pan! Why did this cause so much trouble? The whole thing is not applicable, because of course it's not. Man. Next shadow is, or next monster is, the Shambling Mound! Wait, picture? I don't think shadow warranted a picture. But I do think that you don't know how shadows look. Okay. I can show you a shadow. Oh! Yeah, just typing shadow in isn't the best option, huh? Yeah. I don't think that's quite right. Huh. Yeah, right. I might be a little off kilter, but... I gotta get used to adding keywords to my searches. Okay, let's find the monster shadow. That's a background. There's shadow. Ta-da! The actual thing. I can rank the nutrition of Shadow the Hedgehog another day. Don't hold me to that. You're doing Shadows D&D and you come back to find Shadow the Hedgehog? Yeah! Could I just type Shadow into Bing? I gotta get better at that. It's like when I looked up weed use rules 2024 for the Tavern Post. Note, if you look up weed use rules 2024, you won't find rules for D&D. Okay, so Shambling Mound now. Let's try to find the official artwork, because I don't want to use fan work without permission. That's too tiny. Okay, maybe if I were to... There we go, decently sized. The reason there's black borders behind all of them is because I'm using a browser source. I am not installing these onto my computer. How does it feel living in the astral plane? I mean, the literal answer to how it feels is that it doesn't. It's... I mean, at first, it was odd because, you know, whole body rotting away, being absorbed into the astral. Then came the phantom pains, because I didn't have a body to tell me how I felt. And then came where I am now, where I'm technically just a soul attached to this robe, but also I'm attached to the entirety of the astral plane. but I don't quite control it. It's odd. Ah, Wisp, you hate your mom? That's sad. Huh. Give me a visit? Yeah, sure, why not? Please don't cause another, what's the term I'm thinking of? What, uh, please don't cause another collapse. Like that, it would be a real pain if you did. So, shambling mound. Good news is there's no venom or poison. I always check those. Just letting a teacher get away with a crime. Of course she is. That's a surprisingly consistent thing, isn't it? Keep this on, which 6 to 7 minutes, smashing spinning with one creature. Fire and vigorous potions consent drive. Stormshine Mountain is a living plant, causes air and nourishment, though it doesn't sleep, the animal does. This front unfold, which some contain death. Okay. I'm not saying anything. So it's just all plant. Multiversal Calamity? Yeah. Even because of Multiversal Calamity. One was enough. I can't keep sending adventuring parties. Make a long text about the crime so I understand it better, hopefully. Okay then, I guess I'm gonna have something to do. Huh. And to read. You can't promise anything? Oh no. Okay, how am I gonna quantify how many bones are in the shambling mound? Because, I mean, technically, there can be anywhere between 0 and infinite bones inside of one, depending on what it's been hunting. Our scope varies. It's the same thing I did for the dragon size. Because that's consistently at large. So it could... Feeding 12 people with a shambling mound is a consistent thing. I'm gonna give it decent vitamin score. You know, it's not bad. I wasn't saying Adventure from Other Universes. Also, why? Okay, so it's kind of my job. I'm meant to be making sure that universes maintain some level of order. If an event happens that could threaten the astral plane, I'm meant to stop it, but I can't intervene directly because then I'm gonna piss off an innumerable amount of gods. So I end up blessing adventuring parties to go and do the job properly. It's an odd cycle, but it works. I didn't send events from other universes. I blessed ones from the events from the universes that you were collapsing into each other. Technically, they were adventurers before I got to them, but I'm just the one that sort of protected them from getting collapsed into nothing. They can't do anything separate the universe. Also, you can just stick all universes together again whenever you want. What did I send them to do? So remember when that avatar of yours got stabbed and killed? They can also... Yeah, their job was kinda just to keep you occupied. Now, I'm sorry, but... Yeah. Uh... Yeah. Ah, okay, that's cool. But yeah, like, all of the gods not approving of the multiverse collapse. That, I'd be incredibly careful. But even the other avatars of entropy, like, you have made a lot of enemies, just to be clear. Maximize carbs on Shambling Mound. I'm gonna minimize protein. There's not no protein, because it has corpses in there. No fat. It'll eat the fat before anything else on the corpses. Low iron. Decent calcium. You get some good energy out of a Shambling Mound. For complexity on a Shambling Mound, I feel like it's gonna be hard to cook. Because it's resistant to fire, it's resistant to cold, it's immune to lightning. These things are... Not as immune to lightning, it heals from lightning. Cooking these things is a pain. And their metabolism is... I don't remember how to do the thing. I'm just gonna go with their metabolism entirely. Their entire mass is determined by their metabolism, by their diet. No, entropy is one thing for spreading itself into spirits. See, the thing is that only applies to one universe. I'm gonna have to make a diagram for this cosmology, aren't I? Huh. Technically 100 universes, but go on. Alright, so if I grab... I'm gonna just open the Krita document to... Since the actual plane's cosmology is a bit rough to get your head around. Do I have a capture set for this? You know what? There. Control Z. Is that on screen now? It's behind the spreadsheet. I'm gonna hide that for now. Alright, so, to put simply, the astral plane is all-encompassing. That's the astral plane. That's everything that exists. Fun. Each of... Within it, there's an infinite amount of universes, you know. Each sealed within their own little domes. That's the whole thing. Now, these domes are incredibly self-isolated, to the point where they don't even share their own gods or spirits or rules of existence. So within them, they have their own versions of... They have their own avatars of entropy, they have their own avatars of energy, they have their own deities. Oh, you absorbed every bit of entropy. You absorb the 100 spirits of entropy within your universe. You're the strongest within your own universe. That does not mean you're the strongest out of any universe, as that comes with the territory of there's always a bigger fish. Hell, I'm not even the only entity that's confined purely to the astral plane. There's many. I'm actually a pretty small fish compared to the rest. And, oh, that's Inferno's, teacher situation. February starts me a trick question if I have my calculator. So I'm in a pencil case, which didn't have with me that day, so I don't have a pencil case, so I don't. No, then she asked again, so I said I don't. So she has my calculator and she's not gonna give it to me for my tone. That's a crime. Kept your part even though she knows mine, and that was for a week. In the next class with her, I asked if I could have it, and for a week during next class with her. That's there, I got a suspension one. Oh. Okay. I'm not sure about German law's perspective on this. In the States, that's actually... There's really nothing you can do about that in the States, because law schools can keep your property. Because if you're under 18, you don't have rights! Can schools seize student property in Germany? I'm looking this up now. That is not... And I can't find a source that's specifically on German law. Not with safety. Ah! Okay, yeah, so... Has to be returned after the end of the lesson or the course. Party is not allowed, not for schools, not for anyone. Okay, so I actually looked up German law here, and while keeping initially wasn't a crime, keeping it over multiple class periods is. It has power scale to its universe, having merged 100 universes. The universe is as strong as 100 universes. It's technically one of the strong spirits of entropy. So the strongest, but and up there. Yeah. She kept it for more than a week. Yeah, no, that's illegal. As far as I know. No, that I am going off of a cursory search. So I can't give legal advice. Disclaimer, I am not a lawyer. Not in the States, not in Germany. If you need my source is Regulation 373-1974. Now that I think about it, quoting that to your teacher might be a bad idea. Yeah. I'm gonna send the link to the law, or to the jurisdiction in the thing. But, man, I hope this can be resolved. Huh. Versus Unterschlagen means organisms, which I don't know what it means. What translate to in English? Let's see. Oh, embezzlement. Yeah. So, didn't want to hear you out? Of course. Proprietary. Okay, yeah. I guess it would fall under the definition of embezzlement, yeah. Huh. Yeah. I'm not sure how easy it is to... Is it broad definitions? Yeah. Huh. Just... Man. Now I think about it, bringing up a link to a government regulation might not be the best idea. You can understand why that your mom doesn't want to deal with all the problems, but and it, yeah. Well, yeah, the youngest siblings, they always get a level of favoritism. Do you remember if you have a vice principal? Yeah, it's honestly, it's really interesting to learn about other things. I'm going to get rid of my astroplane dock thing right now. I don't want to save it. Student matters should be... Yeah, I assume that there's at least a branch for you to report this to. If there's not, then that's horrible. Huh. I'm going to continue with monster meals, but really. No, I'm gonna look up Johnston report a crime. An online police station. Huh. Sorry, venting it isn't really wanted. You basically took down the entire mood. No, it is important, and now I'm finding. And now I'm learning about German law, so it's something at least. It's interesting. However, it seems that I can't actually check on this because I can't access. Man, I can't access websites from other countries. That's a shame. I can't find any more sources to help. Oh no. Yeah. What's next in this guide? The Shield Guardian! They're saying to studying about the gods, they need to abide by rules and all that. I don't start out in century. I don't have rules to abide by. You can play dirty. Yeah, the thing is that there is still a hierarchy. And that, yes, being primordial does place you above a lot. There are still rules regarding the stabilization between universes. And merging universes is an absolute no-no, regardless of where you stand. Huh. It's a bit major. Be right back. Alright. Shield Guardian. Alright, so Shield Guardian. Why do shields need guardians? Shield Guardian. Shooby-doo grabbing this guy. He is effectively a man. Okay, so Master's Amulet. Magnificent Treasure. My close friend, yeah. Doesn't require food, drink, or sleep. Okay, so it's a construct made out of, I think, wood and iron. Okay, this is something that I think I made a couple of these a while back. Huh. Try checking on that material plane. Okay, so I'm going to go for not applicable? Question mark. They're shield guardians. I am going to give them full iron though, because they are made of metal. Huh. Not for eating. They're effectively an advanced form of animated armor. Alright, next up is skeletons! Okay, can I just... Very specific take on skeletons. It's all 0 out of 5. Control C, Control V. 0 out of 5 on iron. They are getting a 5 out of 5 on calcium. Full calcium score for the skeletons. Get onto the mushrooms. Right? Huh. I didn't even put a picture up for a skeleton, but I don't think it's necessary. If you need to see a skeleton, take off your skin. Okay, next up is Slod. Slod. Not S semicolon odd. Slod. There we go, that goes there. That goes there. So Slod. Anyway, it was corruption and chaos. Yeah. I'm not saying anything about poison here. Wow, Slaughter jerks. Injects eggs, that's mean. They cast spells. So I control gems. Custom. Treating natural force so any subjugate. Oh. Once and brain cells, no gems brain, they can join if they ever come into contact with the soft bonding stone. Ion, Nimbo, or attract this bonding stone, symbols end up with the gem. So the control brain has the following additional trait. Oh! Oh, you can enslave these guys. You're back? Ah, welcome back. We got to this Shield Guardian skeletons really easily, because neither of them have flesh. And now we're going over these frog things that are, to be frank, they're evil. They are inherently evil. They're also parasitic. They also have an ingrained ability to be enslaved. Damn. Their entire thing is infesting everything else. Thoughts. What is with aberrations and sticking worms in people? First you have mind flayers putting worms in people's brains. Then you have sloths just sticking worms wherever they can stick worms. Damn. Did I miss something with the aboleth where that can stuff worms in your face or something? If I an aboleth, am I gonna end up with worms in my ass? Okay, no, aboleths are just divine. Cool. That sounds like a bad ability. It is! Oh, you mean the ability to sticking worms isn't the word you'd use? Well, what would you use? They inject you with their children. That sounds like a worse way of putting it, actually. Yeah. Huh. They infect you with parasites. Huh. Huh. Oh yeah, on the thing about rules and like being strongest in entropy, being the strongest is great, and technically you don't have rules to abide by, but it's also well within everybody's power. Like, if you piss off enough people, then there will be enough strength to replace you as entropy. If you're lucky, you'll just end up being reduced to a minor deity. If you're unlucky, well, we don't talk about Yurgle anymore. So yeah, it's a balancing act of, yeah, you can use your endless power, but also you need to acknowledge that there are other people with just as much power that can destroy. Hoping it could count of 3 million of your clones. Yeah, see, that's fun. But it is genuinely troublesome to go that far. It's in the same vein as when Mistra was killed. You didn't, yeah, you merged 100 universes. That's big. Uh, like, what's a good way to put it? A way that this happened on a smaller scale was the prime material plane of the Forgotten Realms. When Mystra got killed. Wait, am I thinking about the spell plague or am I thinking about a different event? Just checking to make sure. Yeah, it was a spell. It was Mistra's assassination. Right. They are going to the planet are pissed. Yeah, they rightfully are. See, the thing that was Sirik was he killed Mystra, you know, trying to overtake the gods of magic. That was fun. The other gods kinda got pissed at that. He's been completely fractured. Alright, now, maybe try to catch some sleep. Alright, yeah. Good luck with catching some sleep. I hope it goes well. Huh. It's a lot. Come in, see you later. Yeah, see you later, man. I gotta get slot edibility. So, I'm gonna go if they're not poisonous. They have no reason to be poisonous. Then again, I really can't rule out the possibility. But I know that they are venomous. To Frank, you're saying your job is Spirit of Entropy? Collapsing universes into each other is not a job as a Spirit of Entropy. Technically, as Spirit of Entropy, your job would be dispersing them more. It's very distinctly the opposite of your job. Yeah. You're trying to... Entropy converges things across wider space. It does not bring things together. It spreads them apart. It by combining entropy leaves gaps in the gas plane, are getting more dispersed. No, you just make a vacuum. You just make a vacuum, which is very much the opposite of what it's meant to be doing. It's also outside of your jurisdiction. That's the other big thing. Your jurisdiction extends to your universe and yours only. There are other spirits for other areas. Collapsing universes into each other is not a part of the duty of entropy. It can only be a power play. Why am I giving us a lecture? I'm a wizard. It's in my nature to do power plays. But if spirits don't care to join me, fuck off. Yeah, see, that's the attitude that results in Spell Plague 2, Electric Boogaloo. That's also why we don't talk about Sirik anymore. He tried the same thing, and, Alright. Slothy bones. They have spikes. So I'd say they'd have slightly more bones than usual. Because they also have their internal bones. Which, kind of a pain for cooking. It varies depending on the type of slot. Because some of them are large, some of them are medium. Huh. But yeah, a lot of time it's... it's a balancing act. And I have to take Coco out, or else she's gonna keep screaming. What would be 5/5? Was the skeleton a 5 out of 5 for bones? Yes. The skeleton was a 5 out of 5 in bones. It has to have more bones than not bones. That's like a 4. For being all bones is 5 out of 5. That's... Huh. That's fascinating. A 0.5 in bones and a 5 out of 5 in calcium. Did I? Hold on. Oh, I gotta go to the pet alert. Oh, I did! That was my mistake. Or my headphones, kind of need those if I'm gonna be hearing anything really. I need them for the sound alerts. Okay then, so back to the slod. Or slad? I don't know how to pronounce this. That was Shield Guardian I changed? Damn it! Thank you. I keep making mistakes. Alright, so slot should be simple, I think. Got 3 out of 5 on calcium. You making more mistakes? Everyone... What, you mean like merging 100 universes? Huh. Iron would probably be a 2 out of 5. They definitely have fat on them. They got that fat to melt into the meat. I don't know if I said this earlier, but doing this has really put into perspective how much adventurers rely on hardtack to get them their carbohydrates. For the 5 on energy. Their complexity is probably going to be a 4 out of 5. That wasn't a mistake, that was your dream? Ah! Huh. We'll see how that turns out. Where's that paladin I was gonna send? Okay, so salad metabolism. I'd say that their metabolism probably has very little impact on it. Think about running your lore, just by the part where you merge 100 universes, that's where the fun begins. But you're too lazy? Ah! Yeah, it's where a level of fun begins. Oh boy. Alright. What notes do I have on the slot other than I hate these frog things? I think that's just gonna be my notes. I hate these frog things. And after slot comes, for one, I need to insert more rows here. So after slot come the specters! God damn it, it's more ghosts. Before I was just, oh, this is some wars. Oh, I like raccoons. Oh, the kingdom got destroyed. And Raccoon Kingdom. Oh, I like books. Ah! To be fair, that's just being... That's kind of just valid nature spirit stuff. You know, that's, I think, a pretty common... I think... Yeah. That's a pretty common pattern. Just checking how far I have to go. Okay, I don't think I'll actually finish the monster manual today, but I probably will next time. So we start Spectre. I realize that's not even official art, I can't use that. I mean, sure, I absolutely can use unofficial art. I just won't feel right seeing someone else's. You're getting tripped by an only grown woman thingy, again, you got another level of immortality. Okay, but Onis don't have that power. Onis are just variant giants. Oh, am I interacting with someone from another cosmology? I think so. I might just be interacting with someone from a different cosmology. That kind of she's the demon kind of Oni. Oh, they're pretty solidly giants. I mean, sure, they do have magic, but they don't have demonic levels of magic. They're not welcome in the house. Unless you're referring to a... Let me just check. Make sure... You could be referring to a Baylor, or perhaps, Manus, but Oni is a giant subspecies. It could be a devil and not a demon. In which case, there's a good chance that you actually end up interacting with, a bearded devil or a chain devil. When she's a demon thingy. Oh, it could have been a pit fiend. That's a solid possibility. Since the demon this round falls and all that, yeah, probably a pit fiend. Get enough power to give away immortality. Yeah, definitely a pit fiend. Only very rarely ever gain magical power beyond that of a lowly sorcerer. Of course, it could have been a hag. In which case, I can understand the confusion, since they tend to fit under folkloric descriptions of Onis. Of course, then they're fae, not fiends. So see how fragments of you into that trance and then you can't... Oh, definitely, that's hag behavior. You can tell that I am aware of these things, because I've been documenting them for a while. If I had to say a likely culprit, considering the fact that it actually sealed a fragment of you, I presume it's a part of your soul, it's probably a night hag. Okay, so then... I was saying I had someone's chat on his streamer and tries the Discord server. I'm so probably definitely a separate cosmology. I'm gonna rank the two types of sphinxes together. Because as far as I can tell, the main difference is the big difference between the two types of sphinxes is just man and woman. So yeah, no. We are not sexist here. We are racist, though. Merfolk do not deserve rights. Same with Rokatha. And, Meros. And Sahwagin. And Kuatoa, they don't get rights either. You have Ishbulkis and elves, you hate them all. I'm chill with elves. Honestly, geese are a lesser evil to me. Of course, astral elves I hate to the bottom of my soul. But that has hitting me with boat-related reasons, so... Alright. Immediate note. Sphinxes do not have poison or venom. This is good. the only races I hate are the aquatic ones. So bones, okay. Another big factor of bones, which is why exoskeletons tend to get lower bone scores than endoskeletons, is... Okay, a sound way of putting it is that it's based off how hard the bones make it to prepare. You don't want to get in trouble with the elf god? Fair. I wouldn't want to get in trouble with any of the elf gods. Actually, the only deity that still tolerates me is an elven god. Well, goddess, but still. I kind of pissed off the rest in pretty major ways. Hence being a foot soldier of the Astral. Alright, so... I'm gonna say that the bones on a sphinx are gonna make it really hard to get to the meat of the sphinx. Because their skeleton is all tangled up in there. If I were to pull up a sphinx skeleton... Yeah, that's gonna be pretty hard to handle. I'm gonna give that a 3 out of 5. It's gonna be basic humanoid amount. You know, I think the human ribcage is a solid middle. Because, yeah, that's gonna be the divider of bones getting in the way of meat. Now, sphinxes are massive. Reason cause dangerous get removes 1, you can fight back and trigger to fight. 2, your spirit of entropy and needed for the balance of the universe. You're needed for the balance of a universe. Don't get too high and mighty. There's many universes, and one more dead universe is not a big deal. Remember, you just have your dome. And technically, the job of entropy is to be the universe's lifespan, to eventually kill said universe. Gods have rules, and if you don't cross the line, they can't do anything to you. Yeah, to be fair, you did cross a pretty big line, though. Like, I'm sorry, but collapsing universes into each other, that's a big line to cross. You did cross that. Yeah, that's... like, that's not just one pantheon you've pissed off, that's several. And something for you to think about, what do you think happened to the individual pantheons of those universes? You're not the only thing that combined and consolidated power. Huh. So, a sphinx could feed 12 people. Hooray. 12 people could feast on a sphinx. Fun. Calcium, I'd say... Looking at it... Okay, so Tingin's got the nighttime and the... Right, and the wings. Well, what? You're a pretty young spirit of entropy, you want to see the fantasy. Okay, see, you let the world grow into the fantasy. And it's pretty solid that you get to see different... Each universe has its own brand of fantasy. Some of them, like, they thought Eberron's big on the magic as a power source type of fantasy. That's fun, Magitech. Perhaps you were destined for a version of Ravenloft. You know, with grimdark fantasy. Maybe it could have been maybe it could have been a variant of the Forgotten Realms, or Greyhawk, or something similar to that. Where it's just full-on mythical fantasy. You gotta let the worlds grow into themselves. Or then no magic and only focus science, like the world called Earth. Okay, those can still grow incredibly fantastical. You know, sufficiently advanced science is indistinguishable from magic. You effectively got rid of a world full of artificers because you wanted wizards. I don't know. Maybe it's just because I've been stuck in, I've been stuck in the astral plane for long enough, but I've learned that sometimes you just can't control your situation. You wait long enough, your merging universe is at year 4? Oh, that's nowhere near long enough! Gods! You'd think that you'd have... Like, that's a blink! That's like an instant! 4 million's nowhere near enough time. You're 4 million. You want to see the anime? A dear 4 million, there's not even life in a universe. Gods. Be right back? Alright, I'm gonna get back to this. I think Sphinx would have decent fat. Definitely high protein. No carbohydrates. Once again, this is making me appreciate just how important bread is. We have 5. And then I'd say it gives decent energy. You know, the magic really helps. If we go into complexity, I'd say that they'd be moderately hard to cook. Because you have to know how to cook both human... Oh, wait, 3 things. Human, bird, and lion. So that's person meat, difficult. Poultry, you know, it's pretty basic, but still, it's another skill. And then also red meat. Another skill. Of course, I don't think their metabolism matters all too much. Yeah. Oh boy. So yeah, they don't technically eat. They kind of just have... What's a good term? They tend to gain their power from ambient magic. Which, you know, that's great and all, but it does limit them to needing an external magic source. It doesn't mean that their metabolism does not impact their ability. I just wouldn't recommend eating a Sphinx. Thanks. Patron. And meat's just not worth it. I didn't even put up a picture of a Sphinx. I'm dumb. So next up is... Sprite. Great. Sprite. 5e. There we go. Yeah. Huh. Once I've gotten Rome Spooky to get the image, turns out that there wasn't sprites in 3rd and 4th editions, apparently. That's actually pretty interesting. Tune in like there's something watching. Wouldn't you like your outcome preferred? Deep in the night, the fight can be tried so you can beat her. Here's your Sprite. They are Fae. I gotta make sure that they don't disappear or anything when you kill them. Fae, your evil's Fae return. And quest through the force of an evil Fae. Or goblin and menace, they will pledge support and come to their aid when the adventure is least expected. Unlike pixies, sprites rarely indulge in frivolous merriment and fun. They are firm warriors, protectors, and judges, and their stern bent causes other Fae to consider them overly dour and serious. However, Fae that respect the sprite's territory find them staunch allies in times of trouble. Yeah, okay. I like sprites. I love them. They are in the same vein as being harmless like pixies. I hope they don't get super angry about me saying that. Poison brewers, force protectors. Do sprites leave corpses? Uh. Hmm. Huh. I think they leave corpses. We do find the problem of they're tiny. They're so small. They don't even feed one person. If I were to find more to read about them. Right. I don't have to worry about flames, right? That's 4th edition. I'm not doing 4th edition. Uh. Do. Okay, so I think that we're good. I think that we're good to eat sprites. I can't find anything that says their corpses disappear. That's a... Alright, so... I'm giving this 1 out of 5 in everything. Screw it. Their bones are going to be decently high. Actually, no, this is multiplied by portions, so I would actually have to go through with... I'm going to say a sprite's actually a 4th of a serving. Huh. You have to be really evil to eat these guys, though. Saying this, it's not going to repel anybody. Alright. Vitamins. 3 out of 5. How do they undergo character development? What the hell? No, I can't have gone on for character development. How do I go from evil wizard to this? Give average humanoid amounts of bones. Because they're just tiny humanoids. Even if they're fey. Yeah, no to poison and venom. Technically, they make them. But, Low on complexity. Their metabolism doesn't really matter. Have to be truly able to consider it. And no, I honestly and Sturge. Oh, let's get an image for that. Remove. Sturge, 5th edition. Oh, that's 5-year revised. We're not doing revised 5th edition. Those are the rules I use for D&D, but they're not what I use for monsters. Because I don't have the monster mount for 2025 yet. Okay, so, Sturges. Immediately. They are tiny. Their portions are so small. You get so little meat out of them. They're also mostly bones, because they're really kinda... What's we putting it? They don't really have meat. They're mostly bone. Okay, is there anything else I should know about this? Let's see. Sturge. And Fister's sealed inside clay pots. Oh. Okay, that's funny. Sticking them in pots and throwing them? They just have a proboscis. They're not poisonous or venomous. That's good to know. But they will drain your blood. Damn bloodsuckers. Yeah, blood loss. So I can use action to attach the Sturge. Yeah. Okay, then. Complexity. Alright, so. I'm going to give this low on calcium and iron. No fat, no carbs. Okay, thing about protein, I think this honestly wouldn't have much. Like, the thing is that not only are they small, but they don't have much meat on them even for their size. So it doesn't really work out. Their complexity, once again 1 out of 5, and their metabolism is actually very important. Not of diseases. Even honestly wouldn't even entertain the thought of eating one. After the sturge comes... Ah! Okay, so you might think, oh, this is gonna be uncomfortable. But the good news is, I have a trump card. They are fiends, and therefore do not leave a corpse. Yeah. Okay, so after Sturge and after Succubus and Incubus comes... Oh! Of course it's them. Are y'all ready for... So I'm gonna put it simply. Legally, I am not allowed within 5 feet of a Tarrasque. The good news is, I don't quite care. Because they don't really have a... They really don't care, honestly. Ta-da! The Tarrasque! I'm not allowed near these anymore. My players forbid it. I see no poison or venom from these things. Which makes sense, because why would it need poison? Venom, maybe, for hunting. But even then, venom's not really used for hunting. It's used for self-defense. Bones, imagine a document with spread pins and in lab and transfer summers in secret lab here. Can I be honest with something? You can't eat a Tarrasque because you can't kill a Tarrasque. Alright, I'm sorry. You would need divine intervention to kill one of these things. You can't eat it because it'll just regenerate in your stomach and you will burst like a balloon. This is probably the weirdest not applicable I've had. Eat this. If you get it small enough to eat, it'll burst out of you like a balloon. If you properly kill it, there won't be anything left to eat. Sorry for anyone who wanted to eat a Tarrasque. It's not happening. That's Thrycrane. Huh, I didn't think I'd have to do with Thrycrane until I got to the Spelljammer sources. It's a Thrycrane. Da 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 da. Yep, Spelljammer, Adventures in Space. That's the race, not the monster. I mean, either of them works. Uh, Oh, that image doesn't exist. Oh, there it is. Okay. A Thrycrane. They're bug people. Good news is, they get low bone score by virtue of having an exoskeleton instead of an endoskeleton. Fun. Alright, so now I don't think there's any poison or venom. I can't. Nope, it has venom. Wait, does the player race get venom? Hold on. Sorry to pause this for a sec, but if I play a Thrycrane monk, can I unarmed strike, bite, and then poison people? This might be worth trying. Carapace. Ah! They don't have poison as a playable race. That's a shame. Or venom. They don't have venom as a playable race. Do 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 do. Okay, so no poison, but minor venom. Let's see. I'm not going to touch their complexity yet. They're humanoid, so I'm going to go 4 portions. They have good calcium. That should be a 4, not a 3. Decent iron. No fat. No carbs. Alright. Protein. They're high in protein. Of course, it's high in protein. 3 out of 5, they're decent in energy. They're not complex to cook. You boil them, or you roast them. It's really easy to cook a thri-crane, in all honesty. It's the killing that's the problem. But I'm not here to rate how easy it is to kill, am I? People have already done that for me. Their diet kind of matters. It don't affect their taste too much. Man, I am just being a menace to every creature that's possible here. Huh, I think that next Monday I should be fully done with this. Unless I super speed up and I do it this Monday. Bug people are tasty. And now for the treant! Hehehe. These are just trees, right? They're just plants, yeah. 0 to 5. Control C. Control V. No. Control C. Control V. Of course. Oh, that's meant to be Control V too. Carbs is what I want to be high. Because it's just a tree! I didn't put a picture up. You're still seeing the thri-crane. Treant. No, I want to go to the website for that. Because if I drag it from there, then I get a decent size image. Treant. They're chill. They're just living trees. How are you gonna be mad at that? They're huge, so you get a pretty large amount of portions. They don't have bones. It is a plant. It is a tree. It is a walking tree. You are not getting venom out of it. Yeah. Treants are very chill, honestly. Ask Matt Pat about this one. I've seen food there. You could eat a tree. It's not difficult to get to an edible state. Likely not desperate for food, but if you have carbs in diet, this could be a last resort. Okay, so after the treant comes, come on, show me, the troglodyte. You remove troglodyte. Yeah, I like troglodytes. Okay, is that even visible? Okay, yeah, it's above it. Alright, so what's noble about troglodytes? It's not brutes. Of course. They worship an abyssal lizard. They are neither poison nor venomous. Now 5, now 5. I'm gonna give them a higher bone score. Because they both have a solid scaly hide exoskeleton, and they have bones on the inside, endoskeleton. They have dear gods. Bones 4 out of 5. They're medium, so about 5 servings. I'm gonna give them 5 and not 4 because they're taller, on the bigger side of medium. Calcium. Decent calcium. Moderate iron. I'm going to give it low fat, high protein. Okay, I'm not saying anything else that could be considering it. So no carbohydrates. Sorry for zoning out. 3 out of 5 on vitamins. Go side-eyeing me from the bed. 2 out of 5 on energy. They're moderately complex to cook. And their metabolism very much matters. So, notes on the troglodytes. They will eat you. Do not falter. It is eat or be eaten. And I think that I'm going to do troll, and then I'll be out of time for today. So troll is going to be my last entry. And next time, we'll finally finish off the monster manual. And I can be freed of this burden I have placed upon myself. Get the troglodyte off my screen. True. You grab that. Yoink. I can't grab the image from that site, so it's useless to me. I need the official image for a troll. Okay, so